Hello. I get you were waiting for a sequel to my Three Doctors review where I'm trapped in the basement again. Well, we've taken a detour. You won't be seeing that video for quite a while, and since I normally tell you folks certain videos are coming soon, you can bet this one will take quite a while now, can't you? Or am I wrong? Maybe the reverse is true and that video will come sooner than I said, which is not very specific, being simply a long time, or did I say that, or did I word it differently? Maybe I said something completely different, who knows? It's not like you can rewind or anything, can you? Oh? Oh, you can? Well, can you back up and see what I really said? Oh, you already did? Fantastic. Hey, if you can rewind, can you fast forward too? Maybe you can fast forward to when that video was uploaded. It's worth a try. Let's see. What happens if you skip ahead 10 seconds? Well, did you do it? Well, whether you skipped ahead 10 seconds or not, here we are, in the future. Now, where are we? I forget, it's too bad we can't rewind. Oh well. In the meantime, how about I read you some scary stories? Hey, well, don't blame me, I'm just reading off the script, see? Yeah, well, according to the script, I complain about it ending, and then I take the video into my own hands. Why are there some grammar mistakes? I don't know, that sucks. Mistakes. Hey, mistakes! Some mistakes are spelled right there. Oh my god, the script just ends? I don't want it to end. I like when I have less choices. Dang it, that's the end there. Huh. That's kind of unfortunate. Guess now it's time to take matters into my own hands. Huh. Okay. Hey, what's up guys? It's your probably not my favorite YouTuber here. I'm not gonna try and be scary anymore. If I did scare you, then I could. I'm gonna use this flashlight to guide my way up to the light switch. That bell jingling was just smudge over here. Say hello to the camera. Say hello to the camera. Hey there. Hi. See? It's you. Okay. This is the first time. Okay, first off, this isn't just me, right? The camera's crooked, right? Like, this isn't my fault. Like, why is it all crooked? Is it stable now? Yeah. Like, it's just... Did I do something wrong here? Like, I don't... This is the very first time that I'm actually using this camera stand that my grandma and grandpa got me because it's capable of doing this, which my... What are these things? Do these? Hey. Like, I don't understand how this... Uh-oh. Oh my god, I got so many things to learn. Okay, anyway, here is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Yes, I know the cover is... Bye, Spenty. The cover is of the movie and not the one that you're probably familiar with. And I know. Yeah, in fact, look, see, according to the inside cover, there are two other books that also have pictures of the movie. I just got this from the library. There are actually 3 copies that I saw up at a place that I was just at. Okay, I'm gonna keep the camera like this so that throughout the entire video you're constantly wondering if just some random hooded guy in black is just gonna start coming by with a knife or something. Jeez, that's scary. Okay, anyway, so I'm just gonna read a few of these because why not, right? Alright, which one should I start with? Okay. Jeez, that's spooky. Is that the Scarecrow? I heard that one's about a scarecrow. I was never really, like, super into these books, but I did read them as a younger guy. Okay, let's just read The Big Toe, for the heck of it. That's not creepy at all right there. A boy was digging at the edge of the garden when he saw a big toe. What the heck? Does it have a toenail? Or are we just talking like we're talking like a human toe, right? He tried to pick it up, but it was stuck to something, so he gave it a good hard jerk, and it came off in his hand. Then he heard something groan and scamper away. Comments, you shut up. The boy took the toe into the kitchen and showed it to his mother. It looks nice and plump, she said. When was this written? Like, this was written, like, 1800s, I think, right? But, like, even though, like, I don't know. Did people, like, eat toes a lot? Like, human toes? We're talking, like, human toes, right? I'll put it in the soup and we'll have it for supper. Soup? Like, what the heck are you talking about? Like, just soup and then just one toe just float? What the heck? That night, his father carved the toe into 3 pieces. Okay, so they each got a third of a toe, and they each had a piece. Then, they did the dishes, and when it got dark, they went to bed. The boy fell asleep almost at once, but in the middle of the night, a sound awakened him. It was something out in the street. It was a voice, and it was calling to him. Where is my It groaned. When the boy heard that, he got very scared, but he thought it doesn't know where I am. He never will find me. Then he heard the voice once more, only now it was closer. Where is my I'm trying. It groaned. The boy pulled the blankets over his head and closed his eyes. I'll go to sleep, he thought. When I wake up, it'll be gone. But soon he heard the back door open, and again he heard the voice. Where is my It groaned. Then the boy heard footsteps move through the kitchen into the dining room. I'm going to be experiencing this tonight, probably. It's haunted. Into the living room, into the front hall, then slowly they climbed the stairs. I'm not using the camera stand, by the way. I'm using these games. Closer and closer they came. Soon they were in the upstairs hall. Then slowly they climbed the stairs. Closer and closer they came. Soon they were in the upstairs hall. Now they were outside the door. Where is my The voice groaned. His door opened, shaking with fear. He listened as the footsteps slowly moved through the dark towards his bed. Then they stopped. Where is my The voice groaned. You've got it! Seriously, that's what it says. At this point, pause, then jump at the person next to you and shout, You've got it! I'm gonna read this too, because I feel like the haunted ghosts are gonna get me if they don't, especially seeing as all that sound effects just stopped. The big toe also has another ending. When the boy hears the voice calling for his toe, he finds a strange-looking creature up inside the chimney. The boy is so frightened he can't move, he just stands there and stares at it. Finally he asks, What you got such big eyes for? And the creature answered, to look through, What you got such big claws for? To scratch up your What you got big mouth for? To swallow up you hole. What you got sharp teeth for? To chop your bones. Yo, what the frick is that? Yo! Okay, Smash. Thank goodness. Okay, Smash, jeez. You scared me for a moment. I thought we were getting on. Oh my god, did the camera catch Smudge's face? Smudge looked so scared when I shouted yo. It's okay, Smudge. It's okay. Okay, I freed up some space. I only had 8 minutes. Now I have 40 minutes. Much better. So I don't want to waste too much. Okay, now we're going to read one called The Haunted House. Pretty generic. Did I say that right? Generic? Generic. Characteristic of or relating to a class or group of things not specific. Or relating to a genus or a noun, a consumer product having no brand name or registered trademark. I honestly forgot how I used that word, generic, so I don't know if I used it right. The haunted house. One time a preacher went to see if he could put a haunt. A haunt? Do you mean a halt? A haunt to rest at a house in a settlement. The house had been haunted for about 10 years. Yeah, that's all that happens. Just a murder happens in the house and BAM! It's haunted. I mean, yeah, that's kind of how ghosts work. Ghosts happen if there's unfinished business. But still, like, then once the deed is done, you know ghost stories, they normally call like, oh, a ghost was murdered or was treated badly or whatever, so now justice needs to be served or else he'll remain a ghost forever. Okay, but what happens once the justice is served? Do they go to heaven? Do they go to hell? Is anyone who's a ghost automatically going to heaven? Or are all the ghosts who just stayed around and haunt without trying to finish their unfinished business just there for the heck of it because they don't want to go to hell? Or do you just stop existing? Because being a ghost sounds cool. I remember there's this one thing, I can't remember, but like, it was like, these ghosts like murder this guy, and they're like, okay, you died. It was kind of okay, but it was just over the line humiliating enough for you to become a ghost. Ha! So this preacher took his Bible and went to the house, went on in, built himself a good fire and lit a lamp. He built a fire? Does a fireplace only just turn on? Who has a fireplace anymore? How does Santa get in? And lit a lamp, sat there reading the Bible. Then just before midnight he heard something start up in the cellar, walking back and forth, back and forth. Then it sounded like somebody was trying to scream and got choked up. Then there was a lot of thrashing around and struggling, and finally everything got quiet. The old preacher took up his Bible again, but before he could start reading he heard footsteps coming up the cellar stairs. I'm just itching myself, sorry. He sat watching the door to the cellar, and the footsteps kept coming closer. Closer. He saw the doorknob turn, and when the door began to open, he jumped up and hollered, "What do you want?" The door shut back easy-like, and there wasn't a sound. The preacher was trembling a little, but he finally opened the Bible and read a while. Why is he reading the Bible? Then he got up and laid the book on the chair and went to mending the fire. Then the haunt started walking, as the haunt started walking up, and step, 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 up the cellar stairs. The old preacher sat watching the doors, saw the doorknob turn and the door open. It looked like a young woman. He backed up and said, "Who are you? What do you..." Jesus Christ! Speaking of the Bible, Jesus Christ. I'm going to show you this picture. It is scary as all heck. Okay? Like, skip ahead 10 seconds if you don't want to experience it. I hope you're watching it on the phone, because then you can just double tap on the right side of the screen. Ready? I'm about to show it. 3, 2, 1, bam. What the heck is that? That is not a young woman. That's a freaking zombie. The haunt sort of swayed like... I can't look at this. The haunt sort of swayed like she didn't know what to do. Then she just faded out. The old preacher waited and waited, and when he didn't hear any more noises, he went over and shut the door. He was sweating and trembling all over. Oh, and if you skipped ahead 10 seconds and I was already in the middle of a sentence, don't worry, it's fine. But by now you probably already skipped back, so sorry. Just skip back, but then keep your eyes closed. And just listen till when I start reading again, and then you're good. Who am I kidding? You probably already saw. The old preacher waited and waited, and when he didn't hear any more noises, he went over and shut the door. He was sweating and trembling all over, but he was a brave man, and he thought he'd be able to see it through. So he turned his chair to where he could watch, and he sat down and waited. It wasn't long before he heard the haunt start up again, slowly, step, 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 closer and closer, step, step, and it was right at the door. The preacher stood up and held his Bible out before him. Then the knob slowly turned and the door opened, and he blasted with the laser from the Bible. This time the preacher spoke quiet-like. He said, "In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, who are you? And what do you want?" The haunt came right across the room straight to him and took hold of his coat. It was a young woman. Yeah, a frickin' zombie. There's this different person. It was a young woman, about 20 years old. Her hair was torn and tangled, and the flesh was dropping off her face, so we could see the bones and part of her teeth. What? You can see all of my teeth right here. She had no... Oh, I'm gonna wake up with no teeth now. She had no eyeballs, but bones and part of her teeth. She had no eyeballs, but there was a sort of blue light... Wait, sorry, I read the same line twice. She had no eyeballs, but there was a sort of blue light way back in her eye sockets, and she had no nose to her face. Then she started talking. It sounded like her voice was coming and going with the wind blowing it. She told her how her lover had killed her for her money and buried her in the cellar. She said if the preacher would dig up her bones and bury her properly, she could rest. Then she... whatever rest means. Then she told him to take the end joint of the little finger from her left hand and to lay it in the collection... Finally I can hold the book properly. Hope I don't get in trouble for the library. Sorry, I need to look back to read part of the sentence. And to lay it in the collection plate at the next church meeting, and he'd find out who had murdered her. Okay? And she said, if you come back here once more after that, you'll hear my voice at midnight, and I'll tell you where my money is hid, and you can give it to the church. Why would I give it to the... because he's a preacher. Preachers are people who run churches. Whatever, give it to the church. The haunt sobbed like she was tired, and she sunk down towards the floor and was gone. The preacher found her bones and buried them in the graveyard. The next Sunday, the preacher put the finger bone in the collection plate, and when a certain man happened to touch it, it stuck to his hand. The man jumped up and rubbed and scraped and tore at the bone trying to get it off. Then he went screaming like he was going crazy. Well, he confessed to the murder and they took him to jail. What? I had the footage going for 8 minutes. I'm glad the footage didn't get corrupted because then it would be taking up space, but I won't be able to delete it. Take a while for me to figure it out. I'm sorry. What? No. He confessed to the murder because a toe was stuck to his hand? Or a finger bone was stuck. So he went to the church and then a finger got stuck to his hand. And if I had a finger bone stuck to my hand, whatever, I'd just be like, dang it, like, what is it? Is this glue? Yo, guys, I got this I wouldn't be like, oh my god, I murdered, oh god, forgive me. After the man was hung, the preacher went back to that house one midnight and the haunt's voice told him to dig under the hearth rock. He did, and he found a big sack of money. And where that haunt had held on to his coat, the print of those bony fingers was burned right into the cloth. It never did come out. What the heck? This story is really outdated, and now I'm probably going to be haunted by it. I'm probably going to see that zombie woman in the thing. What the heck is a hearth rock? All it's got is hearth stone. Stone used in the construction of a hearth. Family life, the home. What the heck is a hearth? The floor of a fireplace. The area in front of a fireplace used as a symbol of one's home. I mean, my grandma and grandpa have a fireplace in their home, but their hearth rock is made of brick. Okay, I think I might have time for one more. Jeez, what the heck? What is all this? Okay, what is that? What the heck is that? I just want to read this one real quick. 2 farmhands shared a room. One slept at the back of the room, the other slept near the door. After a while, the one who slept near the door began to feel very tired early in the day. His friend asked what was wrong. An awful thing happens every night, he said. A witch turns me into a horse and rides me all over the countryside. Yeah! I'll sleep in your bed tonight, his friend said. We'll see what happens to me. About midnight, an old woman, the zombie woman, who lived nearby, came into the room. She mumbled some strange words over the farmhand. Don't they have a lock? And he found he couldn't move. Then she slipped a bridle on him, and he turned into a horse. Next thing he knew, she was riding him across the fields at breakneck speed, beating him to make him go faster. Soon they came to a house where a party was going on. There was a lot of music and dancing. They were having a big time inside. She hitched him to a fence and went in. While she was gone, the farmhand rubbed against the fence until the bridle came off. Is that like a saddle? And he turned back into a human being. Then he went into the house and found the witch. He spoke at those strange words over her, and with the bridle he turned her into a horse. Then he rode her to a blacksmith and had her fitted with horseshoes. After that he rode her to the farm where she lived. There's a mutated horse right there. I have a pretty good filly here, he told her husband. But I need a stronger horse. Would you like to trade? The old man looked her over and he said he would do it. So they picked out another horse and the farmhand rode away. Her husband led his new horse to the barn. He took off the bridle and went to hang it up. But when he came back, the new horse was gone. Instead there stood his wife with horseshoes nailed to her hands and feet. What the heck? That's a mutated crocodile right here. Okay, I know there is a last little section which is also called but it's in, oh, The Hook is a classic. Everyone's heard of The Hook. Babysitter, what was it again? High Beams. I remember reading those. Those ones are good. But in lowercase ones, because these ones are meant to make you laugh. What the heck is that? What is that? Aaron Kelly's bones. Let's do it. How that dead man danced. Aaron Kelly was dead. They bought him a coffin and had a funeral and buried him. I just want to say here, if I die, don't worry about a funeral. I know you guys love me. As much as I know that what funerals are supposed to represent, I do find them kind of boring. And honestly, I remember when someone in my family died and we didn't have a funeral. We just all got together, but it wasn't even like to mourn over his death. We just got together and we just had a good time. I don't think that we even mentioned him. Yeah, just do that. Have a celebration. Not a celebration that I'm dead. Just have it as an excuse to get together. Have my death
be an excuse to be happy. I don't know how to word it. I hope that you guys can understand what I'm trying to say. But that night he got out of his coffin and he came home. His family was sitting around the fire when he walked in. He sat down next to his window and he said, "What's going on? You all act like somebody died. Who's dead?" His widow said, "You are." "I don't feel dead," he said. "I feel fine." "You don't look fine," his widow said. "You look dead. You'd better get back to the grave where you belong, mate." "I'm not going back to the grave until I feel dead inside," he said. Since Aaron wouldn't go back, his widow couldn't collect his life insurance. Without that, she couldn't pay for the coffin. And the Undertaker... Okay, don't buy me a donate my body to science, mate. And the Undertaker said he would take it back. Aaron... I remember I learned what Undertaker was from Back to the Future 3, that scene where he's going around measuring them.
"Excuse me, Mr. Eastwood. I just need to take your measurement."
Oh, look, pal, I don't want to buy a suit.
"No, this is for your coffin."
Sorry if I showed the illustration there. Aaron didn't care. He just sat by the fire, rocking in a chair and warming his hands and feet, but his joints were dry and his back was stiff, and every time he moved he creaked and cracked. One night, the best fiddler in town came to court the widow. What? Since Aaron was dead, the fiddler wanted to marry her. What? You just met her! The two of them sat on one side of the fire and Aaron sat on the other side, creaking and cracking. "How long do we have to put up with this dead corpse?" the widow asked. The widow asked? What about the fiddler? "Something must be done," the fiddler said. "This isn't very jolly," Aaron said. "Let's dance." The fiddler got out his fiddle and began to play. Aaron stretched himself, shook himself, got up, took a step or two and began to dance. With his old bones rattling and his yellow teeth snapping and his bald wig wagging and his arms flip-flopping. Sorry, it got a little bit cut off there, the snapping. Around and around he went, with his long legs clicking and his knee bones knocking. He skipped and pranced around the room. How that dead man danced, but pretty soon a bone worked loose and fell to the floor. "Look at that," said the fiddler. "Play faster," said the woman. The fiddler played faster. Crickety-crack, down and back the dead man went hopping, and his dry bones kept dropping. This way, that way, the pieces just kept popping. "Play, man, play," cried the widow. The fiddler fiddled and the dead Aaron danced. Then Aaron fell apart, collapsed into a pile of bones, all except his bald head bone. That grinned at the fiddler and cracked its teeth and kept dancing. "What? How does the head dance?" "Look at that," groaned the fiddler. "Play louder," cried the widow. "Ho, ho," said the head bone. "Aren't we having fun?" The fiddler couldn't stand it. "Widow? Did he call her widow?" "Widow," he said. "I'm going home." And he never came back. The family gathered up Aaron's bones and put them back in the coffin. They mixed them up so he couldn't fit them together. After that, Aaron stayed in his grave, but his widow never did get married again. Aaron had seen to that. But does Aaron come out of his grave every time that she tries to get married again? I mean, I don't know, I do find it kind of messed up, you have a significant other, and you feel like, that person is the one, and they think that you're the one for them. But then when you die, you don't want them to just be lonely for the sake of you. What if you got married and then your significant other died a day later and you're still only 30 years old? You got a lot of life left. Are you just supposed to never talk to them? Never get in another relationship again just because you had this one person? Or what? But again, it feels wrong to just go with someone else. That kind of ruins the effect. I suggest that you don't get married. It's a waste of money and time. If you love someone, just tell them that you love them. Maybe go get some rings if you want to be symbolic, but don't have a wedding. Maybe get a family get-together. Anyway, that's all for now. Thank you all so much for watching the video. We hope you enjoy. If you did, please like it. Enjoy. If you didn't, please leave dislikes. I know you did enjoy. Leave a comment below if you like the if you like get some more vicious encouragement. If you don't like, please comment below saying why you didn't like. So for next time, that won't be able to. Just criteria dislikes if we're and subscribe so next week comes out. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.
The Slithery D, he came out of the sea. He ate all the others, but he didn't name me. The Slithery D, he came out of the sea. He ate all the others, but he didn't eat Slurp. He did not eat Slurp, mate. Bye-bye.